Hello.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay. I
Move
wasn't
over.
sure because I've never used this platform before.
You and me both.
Oh, okay.
I am experimenting here. I'm like, you know what? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We will go with the
Okay.
flow. Yes.
All right.
Yes. So let me go Facebook because I need to see the people. And I need
Okay.
to, I have a link that people can use to come into the studio. Oh, we are live. Hoo hoo. I can see
Yeah, I
myself.
saw that you're live on Facebook.
Mhm. There's a link that I have when people want to come into the studio. I can only take um, 10 people in the studio.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking for that. Oh my goodness. What did I do with it? Oh man. Like I, we still have about 5 minutes, so,
Yeah.
but I wanted to be sure that I can get on here and try this out.
And that's why I came on early just to be sure.
Mhm. Yes,
Because
yes,
when I
yes.
went on the phone, they told me it would be better if I have a laptop.
Yes. And you know, I admire your your bravery. There's some
Oh.
people who would tell me, Pauline, you know, I know for try this thing. I say, hey, welcome to the 21st century dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And so I don't know, I got this thing here.
Oh, you're on Zoom too?
Yeah, I'm no, I'm not on Zoom. I'm in on YouTube.
Oh, I it's a
The thing about it is when I
reminder.
do, yeah, when I do the lives on, no, Zoom is not on. When I do the live shows on Facebook, the people,
Mm-hmm.
hello, Ayabingi, hello, in Guyana, welcome. We on our Virgin Quest, first time doing the StreamYard. Yeah, that she's on, she or he is on. Hi, Geraldine. Hi, girl. Geraldine's on Facebook, and Aya Bingi is on YouTube. Yes, we've been in today.
Okay.
Please pray that this Wi-Fi holds up because this Wi-Fi gets crazy in the mountains here. Yeah. All right. We got 3 minutes more. I'm not on. Oh, my cousin is telling me she's on. She's on her way home. I'm going to be managing so many pieces of things today. All right. Hello, Diane Swan Lawrence. You can call me Pauline, you know. Yeah. Hi, Dawn. Good to see you guys. Come on. I hope we have a good time this morning, evening, or wherever you are, right? Right now, it's very foggy here in Japan. They said the snow was gone, but we had some sleet-like kind of weather yesterday and the day before. But most of the snow is off the ground, which is quite unusual for this time of year. In
Mm.
February, it's really, really bad, deep snow. And around my house is like 11, 12 feet high. No kidding.
Ooh, oh my
Yeah,
God.
one side is like an igloo. It comes from roof to ground. It just covers the whole thing. And it's very pretty. It's evening in Guyana. Okay, good, good. I know, girl. Get that nice sunshine. See, I get on me killing me softly right here. Mm-hmm. I know,
And
Bernice.
I noticed in my background the sunshine hit the door
Yes,
there.
I could see it. Yeah, there's a big glare right there.
Yeah, because I close all the shades,
Yeah.
but I don't have a shade there.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Don Isaac said, keep it there. Girl, it is, you got to do what you got to do. All right. We're about to begin. It's a minute to 7, but I can't manage everything. But I will see all your comments in one spot. So that's really good. All right. Um, okay. I heard, to everybody, happy independence. I missed it.
Money.
Yes.
Independence is May.
Oh gosh, sorry. Republic. Oh gosh, what's wrong with me? My brain not functioning today. Yeah. Yes, girl. You see this head wrap here? Every time I put it on, I wrap my head. I remember my mother. She wore wraps all the time, and I watch her do it. But this is more than for beauty. I Norma. Is this more than beauty? The hair is not hairing. I washed it and it's natural, so you know what's going on, right? Okay, let's begin. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for watching. And at this time, we bring in a program. Somebody said they hate the word show. I understand. I bring this program here to you called Love in Our Languages, Our Language. Messages for Miss Lou. Um, this is called Book It, which is the literary arm of What Is Stories Say. I called it Book It because I'm always reading books. I'm booking it, as I say. And more than that, people who have been to my show, hi Michael, hi Wardy. Yes, once I started this program, people started sending me their books all the way here in Japan. And I would read these books. And I thought, I should feature the authors and give them their props. So that's the origin of this name, Book It. Today we don't have a book, but we have an author and a poet. And since this is the month that they celebrate love, I went with this one. And so we have um, Louise Bennett Coverley, and she is a renowned Jamaican. I've read about her, so I'm going to introduce her formally because we are going to work with one of her works. And for the record, if you see the streaming there, permission is granted by the Louise Bennett Coverley Estate, and her stepson granted me permission, and he asked that I put that information, that copyright information in there. I'm really big on this. We must give props and give people their due. I'm not about, copywriting people, violating copyrights and so on, because this woman was a phenomenal woman. So it says, Louise Bennett, affectionately called Miss Lou, was a remarkable Jamaican poet, folklorist, writer, and educator, born on September 7, 1919, in Kingston, Jamaica. She left an indelible mark on Jamaican culture and language. So, what do we know about her early life? She received her education in several institutions: Ebenezer and Calabar Elementary School, St. Simon's College, Excelsior College, and Friends College, Highgate. I give her these tributes because she earned them. Her upbringing in Kingston laid the foundation for her deep connection to Jamaican culture and language. Bennett's poetic genius blossomed at an early age. She wrote her first dialect poem when she was just 14 years old. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. Um, a British Council scholarship took her to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in the late 1940s, where she honed her skills. After graduation, she worked with many companies in England and returned to Jamaica, where she taught drama to youth and adults. Let's talk about the language because I'm here for it. Miss Lou's most significant contribution was her dedication to popularizing Jamaican patois or Creole through her poems, her folk songs, and her stories. Well, that's what brought me here to this woman. She elevated the dialect of Jamaican folk to an art form that resonated with people from all walks of life. Her work captured the spontaneity, wit, religion, and philosophy of Jamaicans, and I would say Guyanese too, and the people all over the Caribbean around the world. She has had many accolades and honors. Bennett Coverley received numerous accolades, including MBE, Member of the Order of British Empire. Wow. Norman Manley Award for Excellence in the Field of Arts, Order of Jamaica, 1974. Institute of Jamaica's Musgrave Silver and Gold Awards for Distinguished Eminence in Arts and Culture. Honorary Doctorate of Letters from the University of the West Indies. Honorary doctorate degree or letters from York University, Toronto, Canada. She is a cultural ambassador at large for Jamaica. Her legacy extends outside of Jamaica, all over the world. And I think that she has had an unwavering commitment to celebrating Jamaican identity and language, which endures as a testimony to her impact on Caribbean language and culture. So that's the introduction for her. Now, why am I talking about Louis Bennett today? You know, I thought to myself, if I could talk to Miss Louise Bennett, what am I going to say? They call her Miss Lou. I would consider her my big cousin. This lady born 1919, I think she died 2006. And my big, big cousin. And so you put the title Miss Lou. But what I would like to say to Miss Lou, if she were to be here, I would say, Miss Lou, you never know how you impacted my life. You never know. And I could talk Creole to she because she get it. She get it. She said this Creole language does a thing that other languages can't do. And so when I was in second form, Miss Fenella Abrams is the one to be blamed. She gave us these books from the Caribbean writers, because until up to that time, we were using just British books. And I saw this poem, The Love Letter. Let me tell you, Miss Lou, a girl was never happier because I didn't know that our language that in book. I never know that. So when I see this language, Miss Lou, my heart proper glad. And the poem Love Letter, eh. So I'm going to read the poem. I'm going to read it how I understand it and how it resonating with me. Me darling love, me little dove, me dumpling, me gizzada, me sweetie Sue, I goes for you like how fly goes for sugar. Miss Lou, when me hear gizzada, me say, what? Then me find out gizzada is like coconut slice, like coconut roll, except it get a patty like how we just make the cream and bushy and you put the thing inside. Well, I show a cake thing that we put inside there. So if I were to think about it, I go say, I goes for you like how fly go for sugar cake. All right, let me continue. As me puts me pen to paper and me pen nib start for fly, me remembrance remember the first day you catch me, yai. Miss Lou, you know, for throw down the Creoles. Yay! We ain't talking but no I, you yay. You did just come off a tram car. A bus was to your right. A car swoops past your left face. And you turn up stiff with fright. Miss Lou, me had to go ask me auntie what tram car. Me never see tram car in me life. Me auntie say, I think them a travel with the England. So me say, Miss Lou been to England. And then me auntie say, in Guyana, during the British time, them had tram car at town. Me no know that. So Miss Lou, you send me on a whole quest to another side of the world. I mean, never hear about, me never see, but me only hear about because me had one cousin at England. Yes, Miss Lou, when me read, you're right. Your jaw drop, your mouth open, just like a when jackass yarn. Eh, baggy been get down, kick out of a village, so me no jackass a yarn. Me heart go bugu, bugu, and me no one make me ban. Miss Lou, you mean for tell me this buy like this girl so much that when he see she, he know exactly ban for she? Miss Lou, let me tell you, you got it good. Like this buy didn't get like you get she got be enough for you. Eh, eh. So me read little more. Me proper like the letter, Miss Lou. You say, do not scar me little letter, not laugh me ya. Me learning not to grand. So when me can't spell withdraw, me slow me laugh saute, me laugh saute. You see, them time now, people say you're done if you can't write, but me agree with the drawing thing. Multimodal presentation. Hey, hey, hey. The thing in the corner with the freckles is me heart. And the plate with yam and saltfish mean that we can never part. Me I wonder say, oh, what we get a guy and us make man and woman apart. Oh, what? A plate and saltfish you got? Me don't know what guy and got. I hear people talk about them there. See how me draw the two face them that look pan another? Well, this one is you and one is me. Take any one you rather. It's not cockroach foot this. It's a ring. It's a finger with a ring. And it means me want for married you. This line is a piece of string. Eh, eh, take it. Put round the wedding finger on your wedding hand. Careful forget the right size. And then give it to this man. The man is me. Now, sweet rice, Miss Lou. A sweet rice, you go say? A rice, Papa Guyana. Sweet rice, but the proper sweet, me the proper love, the proper love. Me ask my cousin, they always say, yeah, what kind of sweet thing we can call the boyfriend? So she said, sugar cake, cake, black pudding, rice pop, them are sweet things, proper romantic. The man is me. Now, sweet rice, keep swell till I see you next. Accept me young heart while I close with love and bands at X. Well, Miss Lou, you proper make me heart glad because them say Creole is not for right. So I'm going to end my story here to Miss Lou. That's what I had on my heart. So um, when I come to think about this poem, The Love Letter, you know, my area of study is rhetorics, how people do things, say things, value, you know, live their lives, and things like that. Much, much more. And I learned that this language called Creolese or Patois can bear all our experiences. Somebody sent me a link from some guy was saying um, Creolese can do everything. It can't talk about the future, and it can only talk about the past and things like that. Nonsense, nonsense. Because this language is still alive and well spoken. There people's languages are dead, and they're trying to resurrect. And so once humans are alive, they can create, and language is a created thing. And so it can bear all our culture. One of the things I learned in rhetoric when I was researching Guyanese Creole and so on, one of the oldest records said, and I said this before, that the proverbs don't talk about love. And for rhetorics, in order to know what happened, we look at what the people said in social circulation. What's in social circulation? So if you have these proverbs that are so popular and they don't have any proverb about love, maybe it means we don't have love. But Miss Luda right here for tell away that love they hate because she create a love letter to a young man to tell him how she feel, you know? To tell him how she feel. So I think that it's a lie. It's a big lie from the pit of hell that this Creolese language can't talk all kind of thing. It can talk all kind of thing. So in terms of love letter, Miss Lou began with a salutation. Me darling love, me little dove. She took an artifact or a form of communication called the letter and tailored it and infused Creolese. Then she went on, but since it's a love poem, it was very amorous. Me dumpling, me gizzard, them is a nice food. The food of the heart. Barney's smiling. So. Barney's face smiling. So good afternoon, Yolanda.
Yes.
Yes, my niece and here. Yes, girl. This is how the man write the letter. And then they want to say, you're not supposed to write it, but she write it how she think a man would write it. Right? And he gave his amorous language. And then he began to reflect, use memory and recollection. She used memory and recollection to infuse in what she was making. Now, don't underestimate this. Yes, I teach writing. And one of the um, assignments that students often get at university is write an essay from memory and recollection. You're supposed to listen and observe in your community. Miss Lou did that. She did that thing. And she made her character do that. He said, as me put me pen to paper and me pen nip start to fly, me remembrance remember. You see that? The two? Remembrance remember? Hey, the noun modifying the verb? Yes. Me remembrance remember. She put it down so. The first day you catch me eye. So she'll throw it down. So he started talk. She made her character talk about how the romance ensued one day. He went back in time, and now there's a consciousness here because Miss Lou was not named poet laureate in Jamaica. I think she is. They never gave her that because at the time she was writing, people were ashamed of this language. They gave her a hard time. Oh, what should do? Them proper, vilify she. But me thank God for you because me can break it up too. With all my face, my full chest. Yes. And she talked about don't scar me little letter. Them is for the people with a high nose. Not laugh me, yeah. Me learning not to grand, so me can write. When me can spell, me go draw. You're gonna draw on his resources to convey the love. And I love it. I love it. So And he was able to deliver himself. And I can imagine if it were actually a young man, he said, don't be dry and so. You know, when we've been in little ABC and big ABC, we used to draw by friend and girlfriend, that little head so with that one stick, so two little foot, so like a matchstick. And then
Stick
you put a little
man,
heart. Bernice, remember?
stick man, and stick woman.
Yes, yes, it's so. We used to do that. Yes. And he ensued did this whole thing and end with the X. So, what y'all got to say? Let me look in the comments and see. I only seen high and high and high. Yes. How do you come at this love letter? When did you first hear the love letter, if you heard it at all? And what did you think? How did it resonate with you? Because I told you already how I came to it. I was so happy to see it. And we had fun with this thing. Yes. Some people even memorized it. Anybody? And then people is quiet, very quiet. So, anyhow, so that's Miss Lou. That brought me to another subject of what do we know about letters in our culture? What do we know about letters? Do people still write love letter? Hi, Denise. People still write love letter? I don't know. Bernice, is write love letter?
I don't know, child. Them
You
days for
pass
me
the stage.
gone long time. So I don't know.
I don't know people writing nowadays. But do you know that perhaps this form of communication, maybe it's outmoded because we now have emails and so
And
on. People maybe
texts,
don't do handwritten letters anymore.
because people don't even want to call anymore. Everything is texting.
Yeah, texting. And texting is meant to be short, to be very short. So how do Yolanda said, no, people don't write love letter nowadays. They're texting short. And how do you convey this richness? Yes, Geraldine said the art the art of writing love letter is dying. I don't think it's quite dead, but it's dying. In my time, I don't know anybody. Yes, you know who's write love letter? Them East Indian boy and girl. I remember a teacher friend of mine told me, I think she was Hindu. Hindu? Yes. And she told me that this boy used to write letters and put it in her book. She said she didn't like the boy, but the boy they like she. And he was so romantic. Yes, Robert Sahadio said they on phone. And the boy write the letter, he put it in her book. Well, guess what now? When she go for do she homework one night, the daddy find the letter. He said, you not go back to school? Tal, you not go back. She said she cried blood tears. She said she begged. He said, keep showing 1 week. The mother come sorry for mother go and beg the father and say she not going to talk to nobody. So the father decided to get a car man for picture up as soon as school bell rings so she got to get in the car and go home. And she was able to go home and he trusted her and eventually she got married, but was a match wedding, was a match thing. But yeah, that happened, They're doing the phone thing now. Don Isaac said the people of today don't know about writing those things. No, they don't know writing thing. And the people who used to write letters, maybe they had more time. They have more time. And we have the modern convention that's supposed to give you more time. But like the more time we get, the more we do less. I don't know. I don't know. So your life is full, 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 full. But these are the kinds of things you miss. So I really enjoyed Miss Lou. Now, in Guyana, they get this particular artifact called the Ascombe letter, or we just say the Axome. You just got for Axome for the girl. Well, this one really had me intrigued. I started thinking, I go trajectories. Okay, Miss Lou write this. What we got? We get the Axome letter. And y'all ever received a ask home letter? You know anybody receive a ask home letter? I tag the thing. What is this letter about? Yeah, a little time for tag the thing. I mean, you want to talk it today, you know.
Well, I don't know what's in the letter, but I
Mm,
know one of my uncles had to ask home for his bride.
okay.
We as children went with him, his mother, his sister, and the little kids in the house because I don't know if
Mm-hmm,
they didn't want to leave us home alone at night.
mm-hmm,
But they went with him with this letter.
mm-hmm,
I was a little child, so I don't know what was in the letter. I can't tell you
mm-hmm.
what was in the letter, but I
Right.
know he had to ask home for his bride.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I hear too. And Robert said some can't spell, so they can't write letter. Robert, we will address the just now, don't worry. We go address the, you see Miss Lou by Miss Lou was a draw. So I'm not gonna drop on a phone. Maybe you'll get your emojis and thing. So so Geraldine says, I love to receive letters from my old time Jamaican boyfriend. Yeah, you're sweet like sugar cake. And your lips sparkle like a diamond. And then get a lot of metaphors and similes. Very nice, very nice. I have another comment here. Um, the ask home letter was to request permission from the father to court the young lady. You know, yes. So Ayabingi, you're seeing why is the ask home letter. It's a formal permission to court the girl. You see, they stand up a roadside corner by the lantern post with the belly egg bush. That thing never been a fly long time. You stand there, your daddy and mama come in a big stick. You better run. You better run because you're not supposed to talk to the bike on the road. You got to bring you home. Hmm. Thank you. Love from Boston. Thank you. Um, Yes, I told my cousin about pen pal. She asked me what I supposed to be. Yeah, then proper late. Then I know this thing. So to court a girl, as I say, if you're going courting in, you got certain protocols you got to observe. And as it said, you got to introduce yourself. Apparently, there were two kinds of ask home situations. Ask home to to be able to see the girl, to talk to the girl, and then you get a ask home to marry the girl, from what I understand from my research. Um, So it's an introduction to visit and so on. From what I understand, sometimes after they ask home let her go to the people and the people say, okay, you can come visit. If you visit too long, then get certain things do. For example, the granny or the mother then start pull the posy. For all y'all who know is posy, let me get one cup in this bedroom here. But the posy is like a humongous cup that you just do the number one in. Yes, because we didn't have indoor plumbing, it was outside. You got to go to the toilet outside. So if you now go home now, pull the posy, or then start for peeing the can, shwa, 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 embarrass you, got to go your house. Go my your house. So the letters, when you write the letter, you're supposed to, like Joan saying, okay, let me hear from Joan. Chanel, Chanel said they have to clear their throat, a throat and cough and all. Joan said my husband had to write a second letter because mom said the first one didn't say much. You see, you can't condemn people. You can't condemn people. They're open for the bad. They start shut them window. They start shut them in the blind door and thing. Yes.
Well, in my days, my mother used to come outside at 9 o'clock when that announcement start. That means
Yeah.
you got to
Mhm.
catch your house. You can't
Yes.
stay here no more.
Yes. And
So
you know,
he used to come out the bedroom and come in the living room and sit down, and that is mean time for you to go.
to
Time
go.
up.
We had these different markers for the protocol of social behavior. For those them young people who know that announcement time is everybody radio on. You get your transistor radio. I forget the name of the radio. You get it there and you sit down. And everybody listening to that. After that, them just turn in. Turn in mean I go and sleep. Yes. Yes. So Colleen said the father and grandfather of the suitor had to ensure that the spelling was correct before sending the letter. Suppose they not can read and write to good because the by here tell Miss Lewis say me can't read and write to proper. So that's another protocol. When you couldn't read and write properly, because this is before my time. I think this was, I don't know when this was, when they used to do this writing home business, when it was really popular and really uh, uh, a requirement. Some people didn't have much schooling. Like my grandmother and those people, they might have had, I heard about six standard. I didn't grow up with that kind of thing. We grew up with little ABC, big ABC, standard one, standard two, and so on, up to standard four. And then you went to high school and you were in first form, second form. And my grandmother, no, nothing but that. My grandmother went to them standard. Sixth standard, I hear, was the highest standard, and you finish school. And at sixth standard, you do your school leaving. And then I got all these things about prelim and CP. I didn't come up in those times. So you would have had people in the village who were literate, but sometimes I find that they weren't confident in their literacies. So they used to go and find the school teacher them and somebody who they thought, was better at writing to check it or even write for them. And but I wondered if they got to go look somebody for write for them, the people, the father and mother who require it, can they read this letter? How do I make out with reading the letter? Yes, they thank you, Robert. Yes, so I feel like sometimes they can't read the letter, then just collect the letter and smile. But guess what? When they collect the letter, when they collect the letter, they might carry to the school teacher them or somebody of caliber in their estimation. Now, in my family, most family get this person, or in our village, you got certain people. Nowadays, it's Sir Dion and maybe Miss Toby and teacher Yolanda and teacher Trisha and who else? Them people. But back in the day when people used to have to get their documents read and verify and affirm and what going on, they went to Baba Yusi Kwayana, they went to my Uncle Seaton Griffith, they went to my cousin Alfonso Smith. In my family, as soon as my auntie them got a piece of paper about land or anything legal, so I suppose they ask home, they say, we got to go Alfonso. We got to go Alfonso. They go nighttime in jacket for that the people read the thing. So you can't get away with this. All right. So, but the thing now, what I think was a fallout of this asking home thing, I feel like the girls were at a disadvantage because if you weren't an ask home kind of girl, then you not get ask home. I guess you have to go live home. And if you were a certain kind of girl from certain kind of family, then you are ask home kind of girl. Them girl though are the ones are the ones. Didn't you ready? Are the ones who
Yes,
maybe had higher education, have a certain
yes, yes,
status in
yes,
the
yes, yes.
village. We can hear you. Status in the village that they
Can you hear me?
require the ask home letter. If them is the one that getting the ask home letter, I feel they get a problem in the village. Yeah, see we're going with this. If they get a certain kind, what maybe not get the pedigree in certain people's estimation, them not get ask home. And the ones who can get ask home get it. Then some people could fall between the cracks. So I get a feeling that many of them people that used to get asked home are the teacher girls and the nurse girls. They were of the caliber to get the ask home letter. And I wondered to myself, all them teacher girl who never married, maybe nobody asked for them. So them come Christmas cake, left banana, all and thing there. So you see how literacy can wipe out a whole section of very intellectual people in the village? What story this? So yeah, know about that? So I asked myself, why some of these people never married? Because maybe not because they never had suitors, but it's because they didn't ask home. Somebody was telling me that the auntie or somebody used to be so strict on your daughter, saying you bring this guy, let you ask home, and she demanding that, and I think somebody say, as she ever get ask home, so the table turn, as she ever get ask home. Okay, it's the same in Ghana. Thank you so much for this one. The first meeting with the family is called the knock knock. It is to show intention. I have been, I gotta tell you this one. The second meeting is the engagement. The ASCOM plays a similar role. Listen, in Guyana, when the boy start to look at the girl, the father does ask you, "By what is your intention?" The intention does turn them by head upside down because if they think they're going for play, what is your intention? Anybody ever get them family being asked, what is your intention? I tag the thing. No, wait. But I'm glad I get this thing in Ghana. So you see, we have cultural retentions. So this whole business of seeking formal permission and so on is part of our African ancestry. And I know it's part of our East Indian culture and other cultures that are prevalent in Guyana. Geraldine say some of them teacher, na Norris girl act too proper, so nobody ask them. Maybe you proper so you knock yourself out the market. You take yourself off the market. Wow. Yeah. But I think in this case, in some aspects or some respects, literacy or this letter, which is a symbol of Western culture, affects the community. But ordinary people had ways around that back in the day. So I don't know if that's a thing worth resurrecting. I don't think young people go for this at all. Yeah. So I wondered to myself, like get some people, they had also a section of men who would have been left out or intimidated, like the Bushmen, the men who come from Bush. And but they're very, very eligible bachelors because they get the money. And it all in teeth full of gold, like they swallow potaro. So they're very eligible. Yes, they're very eligible. Everybody wants them, but they can't read or write. So you do, there's a way around that. I'm not casting aspersions at anyone. Not being literate is not a problem for me, because people have multiple intelligences. Not everybody can read and write to the extent that others can, and that doesn't make you an ignorant person. It just says what it is. And you can do whatever. So, but the Bushmen, some of them might have been challenged that way, and some of them were very handsome. So these girls wanted these men. So some of them would even help out the guy for write the letter. Write the letter for send to my daddy, so we can get my hand in marriage. Yeah. So Robert, I gotta put up this thing by Robert. He was telling me about letters. He said, my mom told me when she and my dad quarreled over his mother, she would go home to her parents. After 1 week, my dad would write her and say, the storm in our house is over. So the letter writing was a part of now mending relationships. Yeah. I didn't even think about that one. Thanks, Robert. Yeah. So this story someone told me that somewhere at Buxton Front, I don't know if the story is true or lie. Um, this man, this certain man, I'm not gonna call his name, he he wanted a certain woman, so he wanted to promise to take care of her because the father said you got to promise to the right home letter got to get the asking home letter got to get a promise. And he said he would take care of her. He knows he has the ability to take care of her because he owned two, three speed bicycle. Assets. The man got assets. But don't think this thing is so far fetched. A lady in my life, I would not say who, a woman in my life, an older woman, discovered that a certain guy had liked me, a village. Me know the boy like me because I'm the kind of girl you got to be in my face because me don't know you like me. I have to tell me you like me or me not guess. Me don't guess these things. So the boy not tell me nothing, but the boy must go tell me, the lady. Me I must say, and the lady now come tell me. So how about so and so? I said, what about he? Um, you know, yeah, I could do something. I said, do what? She said, you know. I said, me don't know. When she tell me, I said, he? I said, nah. She said, but they have land, plenty land. You see this woman who want to sell me out for land? hmm So you see, if I dey go with the guy now, he ask home, he go right down all with the dad, they get plenty land and plenty what and what and what and what and what. So there's that aspect of it. Because when I ask you what's your intention, you got to now tell them what is your intention, and then they might ask you how you going to take care of them data. So, Mayor back in the day, over here, my grandmother and them talking, they used to make man bust wood. You got to take axe and bust wood. So, if you're able for bust wood, you trang, and you got to tell them where you work and how much you get paid and things like that. Right. So, me get this question for y'all. Have you, when you think about, hold on, when you think about meeting the suitor of your daughters or sons, what do you think about that? Because it's a different time. So if there's no letter, how do you meet the suitors or the people that are quoting in? While you're thinking about that, there's a silly, silly thing. They used to say a village. I don't know which by. I don't know which by. People tell me some by, but this is just so ridiculous because when they buy and the girl are quoting, the things, this could make up a lot of problem if you got the right letter. Come in here, but this one by, they quote this girl. And back in the day, then by used to curls. Yeah, otherwise curls, they're walking so. And they're coming down and they pull up to the girl and he say, Beanie, you is a great disappointment with me. Wherever you been, I bound to are. I want me and you to be there. Well, guess what? Let me tell you something. Oh Lord, we laugh a village subtle. Me no know who buy there, but the girl and said that what he say. The Bible, you never even get the verbs right. Beanie is a great disappointment with me. What is that? A disappointment, polysyllabic fluff. Disappointment not even fit there. Wherever you been, I bound to her. Nonsense. And me, I want me and you to be there. Well, for those of you who don't know, there means to have a relationship. And it came straight out of African language. There. To be there, to be present, to be with each other, to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Now you're going there. So, as we moving on, any questions? Yeah, get any questions for me? Ask me the questions now. Get a crick in my neck. Oh. I'm trying to see your comments. Yeah, last question because this thing going to the Louis Bennett Foundation. Them they want a copy. They gave me permission, so they want to know what I'm saying. All right. So no questions. No. I wondered how what was the content of an ask home letter? We know the reason. We know the process. We know maybe the outcome. Because Sister Vilma Tafawa, she gave me her story. You guys heard it in the short video where the guy liked her and he was visiting and the father asked for the letter and she gave the letter. But what I did not know from Sister Vilma, which I still want to know, why the father say, this is what you write? This guy's serious? What did he write, Sister Vilma? If you're there and write, tell me what the band say. Or ask where you see to come on here and write what you say. Where you see can hide. So um so I don't know what the father was worried about or why he gave that response. From what I heard, sometimes when the parents get the letter, they just take it and carry it inside. They don't read it in front of the guy. They don't read it in front of him. And they just smile and so. Them laugh because the girl get asked home for. But they get some guys that do social work. Them are social workers. Them a have all kind of girl. They. Them a circle the village. They get one a brush down, one a sideline, one a box up front, one a back down side, one a brush, and then they'll want a vigilance and so. Them a do social work. So when you get conned for do the ask home now, them people not keep it secret. Them a go around and tell people, look at John's son, but his so and so son, he asked home for my daughter. That mean he done cut off. They limit his scope now. We got to stop the social work. Mm-hmm. We got
Pauline,
to, aye.
my father was saying that when the letter is sent home, the
Uh-huh.
expectation is that it must have some amount of fluff. So even though they
Oh.
may not understand the full context, they just want to
Mm-hmm.
see certain big words in there. So they'll say, okay,
Right.
at least this by qualify. So it
Right.
is expected that they should have certain things in the letter.
Right. Yes, it's true. And back in those days, people studied Shakespeare. They studied the classics. So
Mm-hmm.
they might write down all kind of thing from the classics, you know? They get they might put Shakespeare sonnets. Like this one. Back in the day, my uncle Sitana used to teach us thing in school. And Shakespeare said, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediment. Mhm. For love is not love and its alterations find. And so. They wax grand. Mhm. So they got to get the fluff. Yes, in dreams, yes, yes, it's true. That means when you write the ask home letter, you've declared, you take yourself off the market, and it's not a secret thing, people talking. So I wanted to get an example of a love letter, ask home letter, and I will post it in the Facebook or YouTube if I can. But I'm going to read it. And thank you, Andrea Bryan Garner. Andrea sent this one that her great grandfather asked her great grandmother's hand in marriage. And this letter was written June 10th, 1910. So I pull up. This is artifact. So this is what it says. Dear Mrs. Burke, I, the undersigned, ask most respectfully to submit the following. I am only encouraged by the thought that perhaps you may, in the same manner, anticipated a letter from me. People nowadays can't write like this. In asking the favor of your daughter's hand in marriage, I was awakened within my feelings of the most sincere regard for her. True feelings have ripened to the abiding love which hitherto has been unknown to you. Ah, listen, say, you know, been no say, me got feelings for your daughter. let us sweet by.
Oh
And okay, and no, while laying bare my heart, I ask you to bestow your daughter's hand. At present, my position is not an exorbitant one, but if approved of, if approved of, I will try my utmost endeavor to marry her in about June next. And should Constant behave herself, eh? At present, my position is not an exorbitant one, but if approved of, I will try my utmost endeavor to marry her in about June next. And should Constance behave herself well, by a condition,
Mhm.
condition. So he says, and now he's demanding, it will ever be the one great effort of my life to make her comfortable and happy, trusting you would reply and trusting you will reply and thanking you in anticipation, hoping you are quite well. I remain truly yours, Edgar M. Pemberton. What a letter. A daddy has a letter. Yeah. So if you never see one before, you get one now. And so Andrea sent it to me. It's all like old. It looks very old. You know, you can see it's an aged thing. And guess what? It's written in cursive. That's another thing I was thinking about. Geraldine and I were talking this morning, and we're talking about how people write these days. You know, when we were in school, little ABC, big ABC, standard one, I think standard two, you got to start to write cursive, what we just call join up. Nowadays, children don't write cursive, they write in print or what we call script. But these letters, and I think when you write script, it was considered very elementary. You know, it wasn't scholarly. It was like, starting out to write. And these men were not writing script, they were writing cursive, you know? So cursive is a more elegant way of delivering the message. The orthography had to be right, not just the content and the manner and that kind of thing. So it was a lot going into this ask home letter. And the penmanship is on point. No scrap. Like you see, Louis Bennett guy there, he said, this is not cockroach. It's not cockroach in the corner, you know? You know, when we write in crazy, they say you write as if cockroach fall in ink and crawl over the paper. You had to have good penmanship. So it was quite something. And like you were saying, Colleen, you had to have some fluff. And so we heard what this fluff sounded like, you know? Yep. And this is 1910. Wow.
No.
And today, not there anymore. The artifact, yeah, it's exquisite. I wish those art forms can come back just for the sake of, just for the heck of it, you know? It can be burdensome because I don't know anybody writes like this anymore. But this seems to be heavily influenced by British colonial legacy. This one, yeah. And so when I look at Miss Lou's poem, I see a direct contrast because if you don't have that delivery and you feel like you still want to write, there dams or barriers to your communication. So I think she's opened the door and say, look, it's okay to write in your vernacular. Yeah, it's okay to do the vernacular, you know? So yeah, so I think I quite enjoyed this. So do you guys have any questions, any comments, anything? What comes up for you? Because I'm going to round it out in a few minutes here. Hi, Lynette. Thanks everybody who's watching online on Facebook or YouTube. It's good. Yeah. So, letter writing was a very effective way of communicating, even in the love department back in the day. It has a lot to teach us about how people deliver themselves and what the social context was. Because, as Velma said, parents were worried if their daughters would get pregnant before marriage, and then the guy just went away scot free. So, if the guy asked home, and that is an eventuality, then at least they know who to blame. And he's got to step up to his responsibility. So to me, like it was a safety net. While it was a way of expressing your feelings towards a woman, you were also working within a community, the confines of community, that love was not secrecy and commitment was not secrecy. Commitment had responsibility, it had um, commitments or relationships with adults outside of that small circle or the small confines of just man and woman, because now you had to come to the house, and when you come to the house you will meet extended families, because back in the day Guyanese families were not nuclear. You had extended relatives living there. And what's the benefit of having extended families involved? Anybody know? Why would they want to know this guy's intention, or even know who he is? What was the benefit of that? I could think of one thing. um, when you go, they ask you who your family, who's your
Oh,
mother, father. Hmm.
to determine if your family get cocoa bear.
Yeah, yeah, they want to know if your family get cockabeh, if you
Oh
got
my
music in the blood. If music in the blood, why is it you carrying? Because you
God.
might not know that their family got certain kinds of genetic conditions and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So if you're gonna go into this with your eye wide open. Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, because everybody's causing somebody a village.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody are causing somebody. And next thing you know, you'll marry your cousin. And that is not allowed. Bernice, we got to say,
Cousin Mac doesn't.
there you got it, girl. So they got to make sure that the bloodlines don't cross, you know? And that is why people from Buxton sometimes would marry people from Bachelor's Adventure and Victoria. Granted, the people who were in Bachelor's Adventure had come from Buxton originally, many of them. And
Yep.
many of them went back to school in Buxton. Bachelor's
Mm-hmm.
Adventure, Melanie, they're Buxton people, and even further afield.
Mm-hmm.
Because my grandmother's people for Victoria, Jackson's at Victoria, Stonewall Jackson, and that
So
kind of
that's
thing. Yeah, so I was at teacher's college and sit down one day. My friend Penny came by me and she's eating, and my father came in and that was me. He said something, "Hi girl," something, and she looked around and said, "Who you?" She said, "My name Penny." "Penny, where from where?" And she said, "Victoria." He said, "Who's your family?" And she started to tell. He said, "You know them Jackson?" She said, "My grandfather's Jackson." He said, "Eh? You know Stonewall Jackson?" She said, "Yes, you know Sherry Butty." He said, "Oh, we're family?" Because his mother was a Jackson. So I go to college with Penny. Me, I know nothing that we family at all. Is bring her home to spend the weekend because we go into some church thing, and there I discover we are relatives. So just like that, you just get to know. Yes. And then Sindrine bring up a good point, Dean and Bernice. Yeah, know about this?
Oh
What?
yes, I have that. Oh God, my father mentioned that. Jamaican
Yes.
and know it.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Okay.
guess what? My father is as guilty
Yeah.
as charged.
Oh
My
Jesus.
father went and promised a lady for marriage and
Mm-hmm.
did not marry the lady. The lady carried the court for breach of promise.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
You know,
my father said
uh
there's a letter of intent and
Mm-hmm.
a breach of promise. So
Mm-hmm.
first there's letter of intent, because in the event that you choose not to follow through, then you
Mm-hmm.
breach a promise and they could probably take you to court.
Now, probably they
Yes.
do take it to court, yes. That's against the law. Mm-hmm. It's against the
They
law
can do that. Yeah.
because you can't be taking up somebody's time and then you're not doing that. You're not following up on your word. You breach your promise. And Ernest says that's the problems we have in society. Yeah. So this thing is not just a fake thing that you can just do as you like. When you put in a pen to paper, that's why I think when I can't be sure, I can't put words in their mouth, but when Vilma said the father asked him, "So bye, you got to ask him, write a letter for to see my daughter. You know, go back." And I was listening to a guy, his wife recently passed, rest in peace, and he had met this girl in college and he was doing the social work, butterfly to here, there, and everywhere. And he was talking to this one girl and they were getting along. They could talk for hours and things like that. And when time came, must be over a year or two, they must be talking like that. And one day she said to him, "We have been talking and I'm in love with you. What you going to do about it?" He said, he's a Guyanese. He said he never had nobody chuck it like that to he. He never expected her to take the bull by the horns and bring it to you. So what is your intention? What you intend to do? He said you run away the dormitory. He get people for bringing tea, breakfast, and dinner. 4 days he now come out the dormitory. Your dad shit. Well, guess what? He thinks say, you'll get away with it. When you see he in the dorm, the girl come at the dorm and knock up at the dorm. She call you out. She said, "Are you hiding from me?" He said, "Me? He hide from you? Hiding from you?" He want to play bad. Then eventually he decided, you know what? Um, I learned that if he is to do something, he got to get the counsel of the elders. So he decided he will take her to Guyana for his parents, to his mother, but he knew his family. His family were the kind of then spy you and they see your head big, then you just get big head name. If your foot big, a big foot, them a measure you from head to toe. And if them like you, then they like the unliking or the disliking start and they can't get it out. So he left her at some family member and went to his mother and said, "I brought this girl from overseas and she liked me and I like her and I want you to see. But if you don't like her, you don't have to say anything. I'm not going to introduce her to the family." And then he brought the girl to his mother and the mother said, I like her a lot. Then he was able to bring her out to his family because he wanted to protect her. So there is all of that. Um, this person said, "I feel like the sentence about constant behaving herself was put in from one of his family member, or it was added in rewrite. It doesn't quite fit. Did the family usually partake in the ask home letter?" I don't know if the family helps to write the ask home letter, but the original, um, I'm gonna share the original. I didn't put it up on this StreamYard, so you can post it, but I'm gonna post it in Facebook and YouTube so you can see. I don't know if the person composed it, but what I think is humor. I think it's humor. I go marry you, but to behave yourself, that kind of way. And they must be joking and things like that. So I don't know. Anybody knows? Did families usually partake in helping a guy write the letter? Yeah, somebody said the grandparents.
Yeah.
Sometimes the grandparents or so does help out.
I was also told that sometimes when they're doing the letter, let's say
Mm-hmm.
the guy probably knows that the girl's family may not be that bright, quote unquote bright. So they get
Mm-hmm.
someone to write a letter with a lot of fluff. And some parents would
Mm-hmm.
get impatient by the time they get to the second sentence he said, them give up
Mm-hmm.
and just grant permission. So they wouldn't worry to
Oh,
go through the entire letter. So sometimes that's used to frustrate the family, the girl's family, so that they may say, okay, it's all right for you to have her hand in marriage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. So there you have it, people. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this rich discussion. Let's continue the discussion online. I'm going to read your comments. I really do. Thank you for a healthy discussion with, you know, that is above board and which is not like some places. So I thank you very much for that. I thank the Louise Bennett Coverly Foundation for giving me permission to read this poem here. And I'm going to send this recording to them so they can see what we said and what kinds of conversations emerged. Because I told them I wanted to read and engage in dialogues with the people, maybe whole or in part, and to talk about what I do. I shared what the story said with them. They liked what they saw, and they said, thank you for doing the work, the cultural work. So I feel like Louise Bennett and these people are people who came before me. I stand on the shoulders of these masters, who did this stuff before me. This thing is not new. So, yes. So, Sandrine is saying grandparents and head teachers and justice of the peace used to do this work as well. It's a community thing. So, thank you very much and have a good day, good night. Yawa good. I got to head to work. Yes.
All
So,
right.
next month, I'm not sure what I'm talking about next month, but the Nancy stories will keep coming. Um, I'm quite enjoying that. What else I needed to say? Oh, yes, please like, share, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, follow. YouTube, there's supposed to be a bell somewhere. I don't know. If you see a bell, click the bell so you know when the videos come. Because when I post it, I really don't know what the viewers are seeing otherwise. So yeah, let's for YouTube. I have a goal of 1,000 followers for this year. Facebook, but I don't know. I don't have a goal. Just come. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much and have a good one.
Have
Thanks,
a
Bernice
wonderful
and
Good
day.
Pauline
night.
for coming on. And
Thank
Sandrine.
you.
They got some diehard people here. I got my diehard people. Let me call them out. Lynette Roberts, Blair, Geraldine, Ernest, Ayabingi, Sandrine, um, M. Ward. Thanks for coming on. Ramona, that's my cousin. Ernest, Robert Sahadio, yes, always here. Yolanda, you and your mama on, good. That's my niece and my sister. And Shondell London, Joan Crandon, Don Isaacs, Diana, Dawn, Malika. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope I didn't miss anybody named Norma. Me call names, you gotta call every name as you get in trouble. Thank you so much. I
All
don't
right.
know. And Julian, yeah, Julian, you're always there. You're always there. Bye. Listen. Marlene Brown, box and back down side. How you do, girl? Yes. All right. So I'm gonna
Hi,
go
girl.
now. Take care.
Okay. Night. Night.
Walk good.
Night.
Night,
Night night.
night.
All right, there. Good. Oh.